I think we had ha- having the mic next to me. I'm probably gonna start with a question. When I look at your reading report, it says to me when you were discussing the type of roof, I think you discuss the hip roof, and then but you make a case for using, and I'm gonna read exactly what you said here. As a result, it is for the purpose of this project, gabled roof will be employed in the construction of the shelter.
That's a type. Yeah, that's a typo.
It's a typo?
It's supposed
Oh, because
to
you
be-
just said it, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
because
a
in the
typo.
section before that, it said, the shape, and it also said with hip roof.
Okay,
So that should be it.
okay. Let me, you thought about any alternative use of these shelters?
Yes, we weren't able to present that, but we want to use them for marketplaces, like just flexible space depending on where the region is going to be, but mainly marketplaces that allow people to go in and have kind of set up shop. Sort of like a flea market, but a little bit higher end than a flea market, just to further promote like the creation of markets there and the sharing of economic values and things like that. That's kind of what we wanted to use it
Yeah,
on the
that's-
other side.
yeah.
But really, the shelters are more of a stepping stone into actually creating the construction industry. It was a very short paper for us to specify that we wanted to actually create multi-residential buildings with this material, and we couldn't really write it in about 5,000 words, so we wanted to focus on the immediate relief of the people, but the shelters are just a stepping stone for creating the industry to then solve the housing problem by actually build commercial buildings.
Anybody?
I'm wondering, this is for residential use, but it's mostly for countryside, not in an urban area that's highly developed.
Yeah, the beauty of this project is not actually the shelter that we designed for. The beauty is that you're changing people's minds, so you want them to construct better. It's true that it's more for the countryside, which is easier to build in there. But the idea is like more of the challenge is education. So you want to teach the people how to build safer homes. With promoting this industry for constructing this way, people are gonna see how it's done and see the necessity of like building better. And we hope with our design that it's gonna spread around the entire island and bring those construction practices to the capital. So that's our hope that it's gonna happen that way. It's gonna take a long time because it's education takes long. People have to realize that there's a need to construct better. So that could be that's the answer to that question. I don't know if it was clear or you want.
Very quickly, nice job, guys. And I got a curious question. In your research, when you did your evaluation matrix, you emphasized cost. You put 25% of the effort of the weight on cost. Did you analyze at all? Did you try to quantify at all in your research the actual cost?
Yeah, that was actually very hard to do. When we encountered that question, we really couldn't quantify the cost very efficiently. We were like researching on different numbers, and then we didn't want to present like a fixed number. That's okay. It's gonna cost like $20,000 for each shelter. So the way we looked at the problem is that you had to see the system as a closed system. So in that system, you had to create enough resources so you wouldn't have to bring things from outside and money is going to leave your system. So by planting the trees, by doing those economical activities that are like wood mills, and by employing the people, that is creating revenue. And with those, like if you plan the entire chain smart enough, those could be relatively cheap. So that's our approach to that problem. It's a very good question that you ask. Yeah, that's how we look at the cost. Yeah, this is kind of like the whole point. it's not the cost, but we really wanted to focus on the protection of people's lives. But we are very, very realistic that the cost is a very big issue. So, yeah, that's how we approached that question.
Yeah, since the project was very theoretical, it was extremely hard to calculate a cost for industries that we would be creating. Like, if there was an industry and if we did all that, then we could calculate a cost. But it's so theoretical that is it really valuable for us to calculate some fake cost that wouldn't probably apply really, truly? So that's kind of why we didn't put specific numbers in there. We just assumed that if those things happened, the cost would be cheaper and it would just make more economical sense for the country to keep all its resources within them.